Beautiful city behind me. Who knows what's going to happen tonight, folks? Who knows? Where the hell is everybody? YouTube's been weird lately, man. They're all out voting. All right, all right. I respect that. Tyler with the $9.99. It's not going to pop up here, unfortunately. 3 things. Luka's a traffic cone, and I'm a Luka stan. Luka offense is no longer fun to watch. This version of Luka will never be close to winning a championship. Joker got a key steal in the clutch. I don't know. Oh, shit. Yeah, Luka's definitely got to be better, man. I don't think there's really any two ways around that. I don't think anybody would disagree with that, honestly. I don't think any serious person would disagree with that. Yeah, maybe he does need to start the game in foul trouble. That's true. Grady Dick might be the best player in the league. Maybe. This has to be it. NBA edition. Who's leading scorer for the Mavericks during the 2024 NBA Finals? That's Luka Doncic. Easy one. How many NBA MVPs did Kobe Bryant win? Infamously, 1. The in-season tournament is now called the... Oh. Is it the Emirates Cup? Why did I think it was the Emirates Cup? Aren't the Emirates involved in some shape or form? Well, there's no two ways around it. That's depressing. That's a depressing turn of events. Hey, Lucas. I couldn't get 10 out of 10 on the NBA edition. Oh, I can keep playing. Paul Pierce played for the Clippers, Nets, Celtics, and Wizards. I'm going to get 100, aren't I? Who was the leading scorer for the Celtics during the 2024 NBA Finals? Oh, was it Tatum or Brown? Okay, I would have got that wrong. It did end up being Tatum. Who recorded the first 50-point game of the NBA season? That would be Paolo Banchero. Get well soon. Who led the league in triple doubles last season? Wasn't it Sabonis? Yeah. That's Kyle Lowry began his career with the Rockets. Oh, the Grizzlies. That's right. Fuck. Wow. So I would have fucked up this one. I knew it was between the Rockets or Grizzlies. Central Arkansas has produced exactly one NBA player. Is that where Scotty's from? The 1957 finals was between the Celtics and the Nationals, the Hawks. All right. Okay. Good God. Due to buy custom-made condoms. No. Pretty standard events going on. Yeah, I don't remember the 1957 finals. I have to go back and rewatch it. I'd have to go back and watch it. That's in my to-do list. That's on my to-do list. Is AD done for a while? I don't know. NBA play isn't updated. I'm kind of bored with NBA play, to be honest with you. Lamar's better than Luka currently. Just being honest. Lamar's probably about to win his third MVP, feels like. Okay, folks, it is Tuesday, November 5th, 9:44 a.m. Central Standard Time in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It is election day. We're all a little bit nervous. Whatever happens tonight, just know I love you guys, all right? I love you guys. I will be streaming the election tonight. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not streaming the election. That would be hilarious, but I'm not going to do it. So, yeah. Either way, since it is election day in the United States, there are no NBA games on today, which means we had 15 games last night. All 30 teams participated. It was a fun night. It was a good night of basketball. And honestly, I know it would be fun to stream the election. I know, but just not. We're not doing it. Okay, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. So we do have a lot to talk about. I mean, all 30 teams played. It's a nice little vehicle for us to talk about all 30 teams and where they sort of stand. So let's just not waste any more time and let's just get right into it. We're going to go game by game and break these down and just sort of talk about what happened in the game and where these teams are at just as a unit. I am dropping a video later today kind of talking about some of these more disappointing contending teams. Of course, one of those teams will be the Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm not going to spend too much time here on this one. But the Cavaliers, they moved to 8-0 on the season. They have yet to lose a basketball game. 116-114, beating the Milwaukee Bucks for the second straight game. The Bucks are now 1-6. And folks, things are getting rough. Now, in their defense, no Giannis in this game. Damian Lillard played some great basketball, 8 turnovers though, but you know, his scoring was the reason why they were in the game. AJ Green looked phenomenal, 21 points. Andre Jackson, I thought, played some good basketball in this game despite going 2 of 7 from the field. I thought that he was pretty good. So it's encouraging to see those two teams, those two guys playing well. And again, I'll talk about these guys later. But man, Bobby Portis stinks to high heaven. Like I would not want him on my team. Gary Trent Jr. has been awful to start this season, and they just look slow. I mean, that's just it. They look slow. The Cavs pulled it out in the end, thanks to in large part to DG, the PG, Darius Garland, 39 points, 15-22, 7 of 11 from deep, just making play after play after play after play in this game, especially down the stretch. Darius Garland has been tremendous to start this season, which is great to see, considering how last season went for him. Just the strange injuries and stuff can never find a rhythm. Slightly your opinion on Lillard fit in Orlando. I don't think that they would do something like that. It's outside of their timeline, and he just really doesn't match what they like to do. So I don't really know if I see it. They have no trade pieces. Yeah, the Bucks are in some trouble, man. 1-6. Again, I'll talk about them later on a video on my channel. So make sure you guys check that out when it drops. But another impressive win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. 8-0, man. 8-0. Just a little frustration for me and how my favorite team has sort of started their season sluggishly. The Mavs in the Luka Doncic era have never won more than 7 straight games. So the Cavaliers start the season 8-0. Congratulations to them. They look good. They're moving the ball well. Mobley is empowered. He's looking phenomenal on both ends of the court. Darius Garland, confident again, looking tremendous on that side of the court. So props to Kenny Atkinson, props to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're off to a tremendous start. Yeah, Gary Trent Jr. on the vet minimum. Everybody shitted all over themselves for that. You know, it felt like a good deal at the time, but he's been awful to start this season. It is funny, these vet minimum guys, we're always like, how? How is he on a vet minimum? And it kind of plays out usually where it's like, oh, that's how. It almost always plays out that way. The only one so far this season is like Tyus Jones, where it's like, how the hell did that guy end up going for the vet min? Doesn't really make sense. But it was like Lonnie Walker. I can't believe the Celtics got him. He's playing in Turkey currently. Where is he at? It is just kind of funny how that works out. So another great win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Bucks, 6 straight losses, 1-6. They won on opening night. They've yet to win since. Woo, tough. The Warriors beat the Wizards. The Warriors now move to 6-1 on the season. Their impressive start to the year continues. Steph Curry only plays in 24 minutes, coming back from that ankle injury. He scores 24 points, 7 of 15. But he healed off the bench, 20 points. Jonathan Kuminga with 15 points. The Warriors just play a great brand of basketball currently. They move the ball around on offense. We're kind of monitoring the Podziemski stuff. I didn't look too much into it after the game, but what's the deal with him? Is he going to be all right? The Warriors have, to their credit, taken advantage of what has been an incredibly easy start to the schedule, but they are 6-1. So you have to give them a ton of props. Oh, okay, that's right. Ram Podziemski left because he isn't feeling well. Called out of the game early in the third quarter, out for the rest of the night. So Pods hung over from the night before, or potentially, and this is something that I'm monitoring, potentially escaping the game. This game was played in Washington, D.C., so I did hear some rumors that Podziemski asked out of the game. Then he immediately left the arena to go and stuff some ballot boxes. So it is possible that Brandon Podziemski committed election fraud last night. We're just sort of monitoring the situation, what that could lead to. Will Podziemski do prison time, which would be a big impact on this team. So just keep your eyes peeled and your ears to the ground when it comes to that. But anyways, an impressive win for the Warriors. And the Wizards, look, man, I'm going to talk about this today a little bit. All of these tanking teams, all of these tank for flag, capture the flag teams, I think all of them are happy. That's just my general vibe. Sometimes, it's kind of hard to be an upset tanking team, especially early in the season, because you get to see these rookies and you get to see these young guys doing stuff. But there's always a handful of tanking teams that are just like, we have nothing. Like, we have nothing at all. We have nothing to cheer for. This is terrible. But it feels like all of them are having a good time. And the Wizards, their little trio of rookies, Bub Carrington had 16 points in this one. He's been good so far this season. Sarr, 3 of 10 from the field, 10 points. Offensively, it's been, a bit up and down for Sarr. But he's been really, really solid defensively. And you have to be excited about that. And Keyshawn George, 20 points. Put up 17 threes last night. He's been solid to start the season. And, of course, we have Bilal Coulibaly, who's been really, really good to start the season. Had a bit of a rough one last night, but through and through has been solid so far this season. So the Wizards do have quite a bit to be excited about, which is nice because I feel like you probably couldn't have said that last year, right? Like, Bilal was a project. We knew that. So those guys are always sort of wait and see. And then what else? Jordan Poole was bad right out the gates. Jordan Poole played pretty well in this game. He's been okay so far this season, but 4 blocks and 3 steals for Jordan Poole last night. But he did have a funny moment where he hit a 3 over Draymond and then pointed at him afterwards. Pretty funny. So anyways, the Warriors 6-1. Their impressive start to the season continues. Speaking of impressive starts to the season, the Los Angeles Lakers started the season 3-0. They are now 4-3. So they are 1-3 in their last 4 games, and they lose last night to the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons now 3-5 and in the shit-ass Eastern Conference. That could propel them to a play-in spot if they were to keep up this, percentage, this winning percentage. Really impressive game from Cade Cunningham, I thought. 17 points, 7 of 17. He did have a triple-double in this one, 11 assists, 3 turnovers, but I thought his defense in this game was absolutely tremendous, and he deserves a ton of credit for how he played in this game. Him and Jaden Ivey have had tremendous starts to the season. Jaden Ivey specifically, 26 points in this one, 10 of 16. He's been uber efficient, making the right play, been aggressive, been knocking down the threes with some consistency. I've really enjoyed this Detroit Pistons team so far, man. I've really enjoyed watching this Detroit Pistons team. They look like, it looks like they're figuring some stuff out. JB Bickerstaff, I think, is doing a good job there. And they're 3-5. Good on them. They win the fourth quarter by 6 points. That's something that we've been concerned about for them. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been legitimately pretty solid for them as well. So shout out to THJ. 19 points, no rebounds, 1 assist, no steal, no block. Just letting that thing fly. They hate Tobias Harris. My king Tobias, man. My king. Ron Holland had a good game in this one as well. So, an impressive win for the Detroit Pistons. Love to see it. Pistons playing next year, playoffs the next. All right. The Pistons have been impressive all year. To be honest, the joke has been if the game ended 3 quarters, they'd be a great team. Yeah, that has been the joke. But, hey, they're starting to string together some wins with some good fourth quarter performances. So, maybe things are turning around for the Pistons. For the Lakers, another great game by AD, 37 points in this one. He did get hurt later in this game, and it sounds like he might miss some time. I'm not sure. The AD stuff always seems very dramatic, and I don't know what to make of it. But okay. LeBron has been struggling to start this season. 7 of 16 in this one, 20 points. Didn't look great last night again. Cade Cunningham did a great job. Cade Cunningham did a great job defending him, and they got 10 total points from their bench, 5 from Jackson Hayes, 5 from Dalton Knecht. Cam Reddish with 0 points. He's just not very good as a basketball player. Gabe Vincent, 0 points. He's been terrible since joining the Lakers. Heavy minutes for LeBron, heavy minutes for AD, heavy minutes for Austin Reeves. This team is lacking a lot of depth. So I earlier in the offseason, I said this Lakers team, I thought they were going to be surprisingly good. I walked that back before the season started because I looked at the roster and was just like, you know what? This depth is just horrible, and I'm not feeling it. So I walked back that take. But then they started 3-0 to start the season. I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. So then I walked back my walk back. And now I think I'm walking back the walk back of my walk back, just simply because their depth is just that bad. So anyways, keep an eye on this situation for the Lakers. Keep an eye on this space. They are 1-3 in their last 4 games. The Celtics blow out the Atlanta Hawks. I have to be brutally honest with you. I've watched 0 seconds of this game, 0 highlights. I know nothing of what happened in this sporting event. I know nothing. Trae Young had 2 points and was 1 of 10 from the field. Okay. There you have it. There you have it. There's that. The Boston Celtics are 7-1 to start the season. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Memphis Grizzlies. So the Grizzlies now find themselves at 4-4. The Nets find themselves at 4-4. An impressive start to the campaign for them. Dennis Schroeder again with 20 points, 6 assists, made some plays down the stretch. Just looks like a basketball player. Just looks like a really, really competent basketball player in floor general, which is kind of what a young team like the Nets needs. Dorian Finney-Smith was in fuego in this game. I think 17 points. I think I could be wrong here, but I think all 17 were in the second half where he was perfect from the field. 6 of 6, 5 of 5 from 3. Dorian Finney-Smith making things happen. Wasn't even a good Cam Thomas game, 13 points, 6 to 17, but you just got contributions from other guys like Cam Johnson, and again, Dennis Schroeder was awesome. So, hey, man, 4-4. The Nets, this tanking team, they look really competent. Jordi Fernandez looks like a really good head coach. He's got them playing a good brand of basketball. And I think they are kind of going to reach a point soon, though, where it's like, hey, we traded for our picks back. We need to go ahead and start losing some basketball games. It's getting a little uncomfortable. It's getting a little uncomfortable, all these games that we are winning. Yeah, Jalen Wilson has been pretty solid to start the season, for sure. Just makes a lot of plays happen. Plays good basketball. For the Grizzlies, a tremendous game by Zach Edey. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks. He looked really good in this game, 11 of 12. John Morant had some highlight-worthy plays. 25 points for him, 9 assists. He had 2 different 360 layups. One of them was absolutely nasty, where he's heading to the paint, absorbs contact by Cam Johnson, 360 midair, switches from the right hand to the left hand. Just an unbelievable finish. It's so nice having John Morant back in the game. He's a walking highlight. But another pretty tough loss for the Memphis Grizzlies, who are missing a bunch of guys. Their three-point shooting is terrible currently, and they're missing some of their best three-point shooters. Obviously, no Desmond Bane in this game. He got hurt a few games ago. Missing him sucks. Luke Kennard, I don't think has played a game so far this season. Vince Williams Jr. has yet to play any games so far this season. G.G. Jackson's yet to play any games so far this season. So they're waiting for some three-point shooting to come back. They got Jalen Wells in the starting lineup. And, he's had some moments to start this season, but 0 of 5 last night for him. Santi Aldama, 0 of 6 from 3. They need some three-point shooting, and they need some guys to come back. So I'm not too worried about them. I think I'll talk about them a little bit more later today as well, when I talk about which contending team should be really concerned if we are going to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies as a contender. The Kings beat the Heat 111-110, a incredible game-winning putback by Domantas Sabonis, who was falling down, throws it up, it goes in. An incredible shot by Sabonis. Fox misses a little turnaround jumper at the free throw line. Bam Adebayo just can't secure the rebound, jumps a little bit too early, and Sabonis just hits an unbelievable putback shot to win the game. The Kings moved to 4-3 on the season. The Heat dropped to 3-3. Fox with 28 points was really good in the third quarter of this game. DeMar DeRozan with 26. He's been awesome for them so far. You love to see that. Sabonis, 16 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists. And for the Heat, Tyler Hero continues to ball out this season, man. He's kind of been the story of this Heat season so far, how well he's played. 27 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 5 of 11 from deep. Had a great defensive play on DeMar DeRozan late in this game where it kind of felt like, okay, Tyler Hero was clamping up. Pele Larson had 13 points. He was good in this game, too. Somebody used to come in the chat all the time talking about him. Oh, there you go. He had a good game last night. Bam hasn't had the best of starts to the season. Yeah, Tyler Hero's been an unsung hero this season, for sure. But and there's some questionable stuff from Spo, like, late in the game, Terry Rozier's out there for defense. There's always these defensive rotations and stuff where it's like, oh, okay, this guy's out there for defensive purposes. Interesting. I'm not a coach. Some of the Heat depth is a concern. Like Josh Richardson just doesn't look like he's an NBA player anymore. Unfortunately, he was terrible last night as well. So an impressive win for the Sacramento Kings, who again moved to 4-3 on the season. The Utah Jazz get their first win of the season, beating the Chicago Bulls 135-126. Keontae George finally has a good game, 33-9 for him. Been a slow start to the season for him, so good to see him have a good game. Kyle Filipowski really hasn't been that terrible so far this season for the Jazz, so that's entertaining for them. But they get their first win, which has to feel nice. The Bulls, kind of like the Nets, losses like these are fine, honestly. It sucks, but for tanking purposes, losing to the Jazz early in the season, pretty good tanking loss. Pretty good tanking loss. Stream quality is terrible. Okay. Get better connection, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you want to hear from me in that regard, okay? The Rockets beat the Knicks. Wow. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. We watched the last 2 minutes of this game. I don't really know much of anything that happened in this game. I'd have to go back and watch. But the Rockets are 4-3 this season. They've had some really impressive wins. Beating this Knicks team, beating the Mavericks. They've beaten some teams that would like to fancy themselves contenders. And Amin Thompson, just in the small stretch that I did watch, was making play after play after play for this Houston Rockets team. 12 points for him, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, plus 11. Jalen Green hit a couple big threes in this one. He had 15 points, 5 of 15, but hit some big shots down the stretch. Şengün, 15 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks in this game. So the Rockets, I feel good. I feel good about my stance on them. I thought that they had a chance to be a top 6 seed at the end of the season. I just think I thought they improved their win total so much year over year, and I just don't really understand why. I don't really understand why they wouldn't continue that trend, if that makes sense. So an impressive win for the Rockets. The Knicks are 3-3. Maybe I'll talk about them in terms of contenders that have gotten off to a bit of a slower start. I'm not worried about them in the slightest, really. Şengün got 2 big key rebounds on Cat, and then Green iced the game, but he was 2 of 8 from 3. Hey, making plays when it matters. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. The Timberwolves smoke the Charlotte Hornets. Just a terrible matchup for my Charlotte Hornets. Without any centers at all. Mark Williams is yet to play in a game this season. That guy might play 10 games a year for the rest of his career. And Nick Richards also did not play. So they had to go uber small. What you're seeing on your screen is correct. Taj Gibson started this game. 2024. Taj Gibson started before the Charlotte Hornets in this game. That tells you all that you need to hear. That tells you everything right there. So the Timberwolves take care of business. They're 4-3 now in the season. The Hornets, my Charlotte Hornets, drop to 2-5. They need Mark Williams back, man. They're already kind of a fun team to watch. They're going to be much more enjoyable when Mark Williams is back. But who knows? Who knows how long he'll be playing? Taj Gibson start before GTA 6? Yeah. Yeah. The Thunder blow out the Magic. The Magic look incredibly rough without Paolo Banchero. They're 3-5. They've lost 3 in a row, and I don't think they've cracked 100 in any of those 3 losses that they've had. Nope. 99 points. Okay, I'm sorry. They've actually lost 4 in a row. 99 points against the Chicago Bulls. Paolo played in that game. 109 against the Cavs in Paolo's first game out, and then 85 against the Mavs, 85 against the Thunder. So a tough back-to-back there for Orlando. Playing 2 really good teams in the Mavs and the Thunder without Paolo, and just really struggling to get anything going offensively whatsoever. Some of the worst three-point shooting you will ever see. They were dreadful from 3 against the Mavs, dreadful from 3 last night as well. 5 of 34 from deep. 5 of 34. The Oklahoma City Thunder have yet to win a game by less than 12 points. They are 7-0 in this season, and they are just throttling teams. Hartenstein's not even back. Their defense is as real as it gets. I'm actually curious how many teams have cracked 100 points on the Thunder. They've played 7 games. They've given up 100 points twice. In 2024, that's kind of remarkable. And one of them was 104 points. So they look as advertised. They have had an easy start to the season, for sure. But they're dominating. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. So do you think Orlando should make a trade? No. I mean, they're just kind of, they're a young team that's going through growing pains, and they're without their best player. I mean, what kind of trade? Are you talking like a sort of panic trade? We want to be good in the next 2 months while Paolo's out? No, I don't think so. I think you take your bumps and bruises here. Give some guys some chance to develop on-ball reps with Paolo out. Just see what happens. The Trailblazers beat the Pelicans. The Pelicans are now 3-5. Of course, what can you say about this Pelicans team? No Zion in this one again. Their starting five includes Brandon Boston Jr., who played 37 minutes in this game. Their starting five includes James Robinson-Earl, who played 34 minutes in this game. Jalen Noel got 23 minutes off the bench. He just got picked up a couple days ago. What is there to say about this team? This team is just destroyed by injuries. And I don't know. I'll talk about them more today in the video because I don't know. Of course I'm concerned about the Pelicans, man. They're fucking cursed. They're a cursed franchise for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. But good Lord. Good Lord. DeJounte Murray, Herb Jones, Jordan Hawkins, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson. All out, man. Like, what the hell? Blazers 3-5. They're playing some pretty decent basketball. Delano Banton, 20 points in 12 minutes in this game. Just a walking bucket. This guy is just a bucket when he's on the court. You got to respect a player like this who's just going to come in and just put up stats. It's what he did at the tail end of last season. That's true, Cam. This is a good year to go on a bit of a slump. Chumani Kamara's offensive game is actually taking pretty big strides, and if that's going to hold steady over the course of the year, he's going to be a good basketball player, man. He's going to be a good basketball player. Scoot looked rough in this game, and Scoot continues to look rough. He's shown some flashes here and there so far this season, but I just think we are probably not getting the Scoot Henderson we were kind of hoping that we would get when he got drafted. 3rd overall. And that's just the truth. The sad truth, but the truth nonetheless. So anyways, the Pelicans, frisky, 3-5. Yes, this is the 3rd time these two teams have played. It's just crazy to me. What was it? I was telling you guys last night, the Pelicans played 8 games. I think 5 of them are against the Blazers and the Hawks. Just a very strange start to this season. Oh, I'm sorry. Blazers and the Warriors. Very, very strange start to the season, schedule-wise, for the Pelicans. They need to get healthy as soon as possible. All right, that leads us to my team. The Dallas Mavericks lose to the Indiana Pacers 134-127. They cannot beat this Pacers team to save their ever-loving lives. Frustrating. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you, upfront and honest. 7 games into this new campaign for the Dallas Mavericks, I have been frustrated by what I have seen. Just full stop. They've not looked as good as I was hoping they would look out of the gate. It's going to take some time for some stuff to gel. And, I guess you could look at it and say, hey, being 4-3 with, a win over a team like Minnesota in a stretch where you feel like you're not playing your best basketball and you're still sort of hoping to figure some stuff out is kind of encouraging. And I would partially agree with that. But I'm really hoping that the Mavericks have their best regular season of the Luka era. This is the best team of the Luka era, I think, pretty comfortably. And I'm just really hoping that we don't find ourselves in mid-December and the Mavs are like 2 games above 500, a game above 500, and we're just like hoping this team fucking figures it out at some point. I do not think we'd beat the chaotic Pacers on the second of a back-to-back, but Jesus, those first 7 minutes of every game. Yeah, there's really nothing wrong with losing a game like this. Second of a back-to-back against a team that is probably one of the worst you can play on a back-to-back. That is the Indiana Pacers. They play so fast, right? And they've always given this Mavericks team trouble. So I think kids should play Jaden Hardy more? No, honestly. Honestly, no. But yes, that is the part, Jeremy. 5 of their 7 games been at home. The Mavs are 3-2 at home. Like, if you want to be this super competitive team, if you want to be a team that is towards the top of the Western Conference, if you want to be a team that has home court advantage, if you want to be a team that's a 2 seed, a 3 seed, right? Even potentially pushing for a 1 seed, but I think that shit's nothing to do with the Mavericks. The Thunder are going to be the 1 seed comfortably. Comfortably, okay? But if you want to be a top-end seed, right, you got to win. You got to be dominant at home. That's what all of these teams have in common. You have to be a dominant home team. And the Mavs have now lost 2 games at home where they've been favorites by more than 5 points. I guess this line ended up closing at the Mavs minus 4.5, but I was looking at it yesterday, and all day it was minus 5.5. So, a little frustration there. They've been favored in every game and on 4-3. The Mavs have always notoriously been terrible against the spread, it feels like. Terrible. But yeah, I mentioned this in a video yesterday that when the Mavs bigs are bad, they're bad. They cannot win games when their bigs don't play well. No Derek Lively in this game. That definitely hurt them. Gafford was bad. You got to switch up the starting 5. I mean, you just do. I know they're doing it. They're playing some politics, right? I guess it sounds like Stein kind of mentioned something about this. It sounds like Daniel Gafford being in the starting lineup is some important thing. Like, they need to do it or else they feel like they might lose Gaff or something. I don't fucking know. But this constant coming out of the gates slow, getting doubled up in the first quarter, finding yourself down 10, 12, 15 points in the first quarter of every single game is just frustrating, and I think it's time for a change. And, last night's a different story because Derek Lively's not here. But at some point, man, it's just like, hey, play your fucking best 5 players to start the game. And let's go. And that has to be Derek Lively. I mean, it absolutely has to be Derek Lively. So just something there. Again, there's no real problem with losing this game. Just first quarter of games so far this season, the Mavs have a -4 net rating. Second quarter of games +10, third quarter of games +10.5, fourth quarter +1.5. So these slow starts are just killing the Mavs currently, and this was true all season last year. All season last year as well. The Mavs they started so slow in these games. And it would be really nice, really, really nice if they solve that problem. Okay? It'd be really nice if they solve that problem. But the starting 5 group that they've had the last 3 games has been terrible. They were -8 against the Rockets, -7 against the Magic somehow, and -14 last night. So I do think that we've seen this 5 group with Gafford and Clay can't really work because Gafford's too slow-footed. He's a great energy big, great lob finisher. Is somebody who, if he's playing a smaller team, can really impose his will at times. But he's a little bit too slow-footed, and when you're pairing that with a bunch of other slow-footed perimeter defenders, like Luka and current version of Clay, then you're going to have some problems. So that's my concern. And I do think moving forward they'll fix it and they'll solve it. And I do think this will be a good basketball team and they will start humming whenever they make those changes. Luka had 34, 7, and 15 in this game. 9 of 24 from the field, 12 of 15 from the free throw line. I mean, you always have to dive deeper than the stats for Luka. I thought he played a pretty good basketball game offensively. I liked him getting to the free throw line. The offense just does feel so stagnant at times, especially early on in games when Luka's trying to find a rhythm. I wish we could figure out a way where Luka can get his rhythm going, where it's not just hero isolation ball for the first 5 to 6 minutes of the game and nobody else is doing anything. They really need to fix that. And yeah, Luka was horrific defensively last night. Like, absolutely terrible. Granted, a lot of guys were, but Luka was really, really bad. Second half of back-to-back, he looked gassed. Everybody looked gassed, especially by the end of the game for the Mavericks. But, just there's a matchup that gives him problems defensively, and they go at him. I mean, Rick makes him work, right? They play fast, they get up and down the court, and they hunt that Luka matchup on offense. So you got to tip your cap to the Pacers and the brand of basketball that they play against this team. Kyrie with 27 points, 11 of 21. Again, didn't think he was good defensively as well. So he deserves a bit of a blame there. Klay Thompson had 16 points, 6 of 12, 4 of 8 from 3. They finally got him going later in the game. Again, early in games, I'd like to see Klay just get some more shots early in games. Just let everybody kind of get a rhythm early on. Klay had some rough moments defensively as well in this game. Gafford, 15 minutes. Just can't have that, really. The game without Derek Lively. You really need to play well. And if he can't do that, again, this is a bad matchup for him, but I don't think he's your starting center, man, because he's not better than Derek Lively. Derek Lively's just better. Now, Derek Lively's playing more minutes than Daniel Gafford. So, it doesn't really matter in the end. But at a certain point, when Lively comes back and is healthy, I think it's time to I think we've seen enough. Okay, I think we've seen enough. PJ Washington, I want to give him a ton of credit for how he played defensively in this game. Thought he was great defensively. Thought he was asked to do quite a bit. Played a lot of small ball, 5 minutes, and I thought he did pretty good in that role. But offensively, it was rough. 3 of 11. PJ is going to be a huge minute player for this team. Going to be a huge minute player for this team. Going to play in crunch time. Going to play down the stretch of games. Going to play in the biggest moments of games because of his defense, and the team desperately needs that. And he's been great defensively so far. In fact, he's been like all defense level. Seriously. Honest to God, he has. So props to PJ in that regard. But he's going to have to figure it out offensively. Like, he's going to have to start playing better offensively. 9 points per game so far this season. He's 22% from deep. 47% true shooting. He's got to get it going offensively, man. At least average. Just be league average, efficiency-wise. We don't need you to do much of anything. Najee Marshall was tremendous off the bench for the Mavericks. 20 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 8 of 9 from the field. A steal. I love what Najee brings to the table. He's going to be somebody who's going to get 30 minutes a game, and they're just going to have to figure out how. How can we get How can we get this guy 30 minutes? I'm worried about teams selling out to stop the pick and roll while also keeping the ball away from Klay. The Mavs will figure it out. I'm really not that worried about them offensively, right? And I mean, they put up 127 in this game, with Luka going 9 of 24 from the field. Like, the Mavs are 4-3. Their offensive had stretches of looking really good. Their defense has been really good despite this game. And this is all with Luka playing objectively some of his worst basketball of his life. I mean, this is one of the worst Luka stretches I can ever remember. Just in terms of all-around play. So he will figure it out. The Mavs as a team, I think, will figure it out offensively. I mean, they shot 41% from 3 in this game. Yeah, their offense has been slow, but they've kind of struggled out the gates again to start games. And 2, Luka's been playing. Luka, his last 2 games have been good from a scoring perspective, but the 5 games before that, Luka was off to a really slow start scoring-wise. That's going to affect your offensive rating and stuff like that. Dwight Powell, I thought, gave the Mavs some good minutes off the bench. He didn't record a single stat, but I just liked his presence on the court. I'm kind of surprised he didn't play more. Spencer Dinwiddie had a pretty solid game. And Quentin Grimes only 10 minutes. I thought this was a matchup where Quentin Grimes probably should have seen more minutes. No, I'm not really worried about Luka, to be honest with you. I'm not worried. And the Pacers, man, Miles Turner with 30 points and 11 rebounds, 10 of 17. The Mavs broadcast had an absurd stat that they showed that Miles Turner, a quarter of his 30-point games in his career have come against this Dallas Mavericks team. 25% of the 30-point games in Miles Turner's career have come against this Mavs team. 2% of his career games have come against this Mavs team. So, I mean, he just owns us. He owns us. It's absolutely insane. The Mavs can't stop him. Tyrese Haliburton played well in this game, just put a ton of pressure on the defense. Just getting downhill, getting into the paint. And the Mavs just had no answer. So frustrating one. 4-3. The Mavs have a get-right game against the Bulls on Wednesday that they need to take care of business in. No two ways around it. And then a game on Friday against the Suns. So you win both of those games and you're feeling a lot better. about where you're at as a team. And that's going to be the case for a lot of these contending teams. Just a couple wins in a row and you feel better. The Nuggets, speaking of the devil, it's kind of funny. The Nuggets, we had a bunch of think pieces. The Nuggets are this, the Nuggets are that, the Nuggets are this. They're 4-3. So they have the same record as the Mavericks. 121-119. Another nail biter against this Toronto Raptors team. And again, for a tanking team, which the Raptors are, this is one of those wins. One of those losses for a tanking team where you're like, that fucking rocked. That we were competitive. Our players that we wanted to be good looked good. Grady Dick looks great. RJ Barrett looked rough at times, but I thought he played some pretty solid minutes. Just a tough shooting game, but I thought he played pretty good basketball. And we lose. I mean, that's what you want to see. Raptors were robbed blind. A tough one for Jokic, which is kind of crazy because he had 28, 14, and 13, but he did have 7 turnovers, 10 of 22 from the field. Didn't think Jokic looked great. But Aaron Gordon, 4 minutes, hurt his calf. We'll have to keep an eye on that because they can't really afford that. But Russ in the starting 5, no Jamal Murray. Russ played a really good game of basketball last night. Played good defense. Absolutely was hacking the living shit out of RJ Barrett and didn't get a foul call, but hey, that's how it goes. Christian Brown has been really a revelation for them. He's been so good in the starting 5, so they have that going for him. Julian Strawther made some plays last night. Hunter Tyson, I thought, looked pretty good in his minutes, 15 minutes, but no points. But I thought that he played pretty well. So you just have to have games like this and hope that some guys sort of develop over the course of the season. Maybe you go out and trade for a guy. Maybe you pick up a guy. Maybe you go out and get Lonnie Walker. It sounds like they're interested in Lonnie Walker. Maybe you go out and you get Lonnie Walker and he plays some good minutes for you. I don't know. Grady most improved season? It's possible. I'm against second-year guys getting most improved player, especially second-year guys who are lottery picks. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I've never understood the logic. But the way he's playing so far, yeah. And yes, the Nuggets, so I mentioned they have the same record as the Mavs. The Nuggets have looked nowhere near as impressive as the Mavs have looked at times. They are 4-3 with their 4 wins being against Toronto twice, 2 wins against Toronto, the Nets, and Utah. They blew out Utah, but 2 incredibly close 2-point wins against the Raptors, one of them going to overtime. A win against the Nets that went to overtime. And to be fair, they did play the Timberwolves pretty close and lost. And they played a good game against the Clippers, and the Clippers are probably a little bit better than we expected heading into the season. But a much-needed win for the Nuggets. The Suns beat the Sixers, folks. The Suns are a great basketball team. They are great. They are very good. 6-1. They're closing games. They're playing really well down the stretch of games. That was their big thing last year. They're playing some great basketball. Kevin Durant is playing like a man possessed. Now, I will say this, right? Is Kevin Durant having this much of a burden placed on him, both offensively and defensively? Kevin Durant playing nearly 40 minutes a game. Is that sustainable? Probably not. Probably not. But for the time being, when he's out there, he's playing some incredible basketball. The Suns are 6-1. Paul George makes his return in this game. I will say this real quick about the Suns. Grayson Allen looks preposterous. He looks insane. Okay? The steroid situation going on with Grayson Allen is next to unbelievable. It doesn't make sense. It absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. But, Tyrese Maxey did his thing. It was balling out in this one and then gets iced out in the last 5 minutes of the game because they want Paul George to be the hero, and Paul George stunk like shit last night in his first game as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. So the Sixers are 1-5. It does sound like Joel Embiid will be back soon. But, a disappointing start for the Sixers. And this was a game that they needed to win. What happened to Grayson Allen? His arms look preposterous. His arms look fucking preposterous, man. He is huge. And it doesn't make sense. And his head is small. It's the most preposterous looking thing. It's like, why are you so big? I don't get it. Do you think the 76ers think Paul George is better than Maxey? No, I don't. But I think in Paul George's first game, they kind of wanted to get him going and, give him a chance to be the hero at the end. Yeah, he has the Popeye build. Absolutely. And the final game of the night, the Spurs lose to the Clippers. What a weird game this was. The Spurs win the first quarter 40-14. 26-point lead at one point in this game. And they really kind of proceed to get their asses handed to them for the remainder of the game. Wemby is turning into this type of player in his second season. 24 points, 13 rebounds, 9 blocks. You look at that stat line, you're like, holy shit, I don't think Wemby was good in this game. Wemby's kind of had a slower start to the season. Let me rephrase that. Wemby had a lot of good moments and a lot of bad moments in this one. He's still learning and going through the ropes. And I do think that, the Wemby that I was kind of hoping we would be seeing, the Wemby that I think a lot of people kind of hope that we would be seeing is just probably not going to happen this season. Or at least early on in the season. Maybe he'll find his groove. But the Spurs desperately need some guys back, man. They need Devin Vassell. They need Devin Vassell back tomorrow. They just need some perimeter players. They need some shooters. They miss Sohan in this game even defensively. They really miss Sohan. So they need some guys back, but there'll be some growing pains for the Spurs team, who are 3-4 on the season. It's not the worst. They win this game, they're 4-3. Makes you think. The Clippers are now 3-4 in the season. They get their first win at the Intuit TurboTax Dome. 1-4 at home now. 3-4 on the season. An impressive come from behind win. Norman Powell played good in this game. Amir Coffey, 21 points, 8 of 10 from the field, 5 of 6 from deep. Amir Coffey has some of these moments, man. He gamed the Denver Nuggets earlier this season. He just hits some shots. He's one of these guys. He plays good defense, hits some shots, hits some threes. I like him as a player quite a bit. So shout out to Amir Coffey. Chris Dunn, plus 24. He's been really good for them. He's just straight up been better than Terrence Mann. Like, he's kind of what they think Terrence Mann is. Terrence Mann's a good basketball player. I've always kind of thought that he was never what the Clippers thought that he was, which is like this great defensive player, X, Y, and Z. Chris Dunn kind of is that guy. Zubats was 17 and 13. An impressive win. So anyways, that was all 15 games last night. It was a pretty solid night of basketball. I like when they do this. I saw people online were like, what is this stupid-ass gimmick by Adam Silver? I'm like, do you guys not think that this was objectively cool? I don't know. I guess as a basketball fan, I was like, fuck yeah, this rocks. 15 games. They're all 15 minutes apart. We can like watch the end of every game. What's wrong with that? I guess I don't understand. Why do we have to be mad at that? I don't get it. Yeah, all the games started right on time. It's funny when they have to do that. They do it. It's kind of annoying. So, of course, no games tonight. Election day in the United States of America. Probably will not be live tomorrow. I probably won't do slightly early tomorrow morning. I just won't have much to talk about unless you guys want me to talk about the election. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. If you're listening to this on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. Damn you. God damn you. I just thought it was weird how some East Coast teams were playing late. Yeah, the East looks stinky as fuck this year, man. I mean, the Knicks are the Nets are the 3 seed. They're 4-4. Stinky as hell. Now, granted, the Bucks and the Sixers stinking it up has really kind of fucked this all up. But God, I wish the Mavs played in the East, man. I really do. Except that would suck though because they'd have to play the Pacers regularly. But I guarantee every team, like the Pelicans, probably look at the Eastern Conference and they're like, fuck, man, why couldn't we be over there? The Grizzlies probably look at the East and they're like, dude, please put us in the East, man. Please get us out of the West. Get us out. So after that loss to the Pacers, is the Mavs season over? Yeah, it's over. It's over, man. No point in watching anymore. No point in watching. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. I am going to drop a video later today. Make sure you guys gas that thing up whenever that thing comes out. Going to look at all of the contending teams that I don't think I've had a little disappointing starts in whether or not we should be concerned or whether or not things will be fine. I will be talking about the Mavericks there because to me they've been a little bit disappointing to start the season. Spoiler alert. I'm not that concerned. No, did not rewatch the Mavs game last night. There's no reason to. No reason whatsoever. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. All of the OGs, guys, could spend your Tuesday morning anywhere in the world you decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but it helps you out tremendously. This weekend, I'm hoping to launch the new membership program, I guess. Maybe not this weekend, maybe next week, but for sure by the end of November, we have a new membership program launched to help, support the channel, help grow the channel a little bit. And still figuring out things to provide to you guys that makes a membership worth your while. So anyways, thank you all for tuning in. I love you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you all later. Bye.